My twin convinced my therapist they were me. 4 years. The recording on my phone shows 4:17 when Emma's voice comes through crystal clear. Hi, Dr. Martinez. Sorry, I'm running late. Traffic was hell on the 405. Except Emma wasn't stuck in traffic. She was sitting in my therapy session, pretending to be me. And I was 3 blocks away at a coffee shop, wondering why my therapist had suddenly canceled our Tuesday appointment via text. I almost deleted the audio file when I first found it in my voice memos last week. I'd accidentally hit record while fumbling with my phone outside Dr. Martinez's office, trying to figure out why someone else was walking out of the building wearing my face. Someone else who walked with more confidence, smiled easier, seemed to carry the weight of the world differently than I did. Someone else who was my identical twin sister. The recording continues for 37 minutes. 37 minutes of Emma describing my breakthrough with social anxiety, my newfound success at work presentations, and my exciting new relationship with a guy named Marcus who apparently loves how spontaneous and adventurous I become. The only problem? I've been having panic attacks twice a week, I haven't given a presentation in 8 months, and I haven't been on a date since Obama was president. I really feel like I'm turning a corner, Dr. Martinez, Emma's voice chirps through my phone speaker. Those breathing techniques she taught me have been life-changing. I used them during my promotion interview at Henderson & Associates, and I absolutely nailed it. Henderson & Associates. Emma's law firm. The promotion she got 6 months ago after what she called her personal growth journey right around the time I started noticing my therapy sessions were getting weird. Dr. Martinez began congratulating me on progress I wasn't making, referencing conversations I didn't remember having, and worst of all, suggesting we space out our sessions because I was doing so well. Meanwhile, I was getting worse. The anxiety that had sent me to therapy 3 years ago was morphing into something darker. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't trust my own memory. When I told Dr. Martinez I felt like I was losing my mind, she gave me this confused look and reminded me how just last week I'd been celebrating my amazing streak of good days. Last week when I was actually home, crying into a pint of Ben & Jerry's and Googling signs of early onset dementia at 2 a.m. The recording crackles as Emma shifts in what should have been my chair. Oh, and I wanted to thank you for that book recommendation, Mindfulness for Anxiety. I've been sharing the techniques with my sister Sarah. She's been struggling lately, and I feel like being the stable one in the family for once is really empowering. My hand clenches around the phone so hard I'm surprised the screen doesn't crack. The stable one. The role that was supposed to be mine after 3 years of weekly therapy sessions, after pouring $12,000 into healing myself, after fighting tooth and nail against the depression that's been trying to swallow me whole since college. Emma wasn't just stealing my therapy. She was stealing the person I was supposed to become. The session ends with Dr. Martinez scheduling my next appointment for the following Tuesday at 2 p.m., the same slot I've been faithfully keeping for 3 years, until recently when these mysterious cancellations started happening. I look at my calendar. Next Tuesday at 2 p.m., I'm supposed to be meeting my new therapist, Dr. Chen. The one who actually believes me when I tell her something is very, very wrong. The worst part isn't even that Emma stole my therapy sessions. It's that she's better at being me than I am. I've spent the last 4 days going through my phone, my emails, my entire digital footprint, looking for clues I should have caught earlier. What I found makes my stomach turn. 3 months ago, I got a LinkedIn notification that someone had endorsed my skills in public speaking and leadership. I remember staring at it, confused, because I hadn't spoken publicly since my disaster of a maid of honor speech at our cousin's wedding in 2019. I assumed it was a mistake, maybe LinkedIn's algorithm glitching. It wasn't a mistake. Emma had been updating my LinkedIn profile. My recent accomplishments include leading a successful merger negotiation, Emma's case, completing a mindfulness certification program, news to me, and volunteering as a peer counselor for anxiety support groups, which explains why 3 different people have approached me at Starbucks asking about my inspiring workshop on conquering fear. She's been living a double life as a version of me I've been desperately trying to become in therapy. And apparently, she's been doing it better than I ever could. The LinkedIn discoveries led me down a rabbit hole that ended at 3 a.m. last night with a revelation that made me throw up in my kitchen sink. Emma hasn't just been attending my therapy sessions. She's been monetizing them. Her Instagram account, which I rarely check because her perfect life makes me feel worse about mine, has gained 47,000 followers in the past year. The bio reads, twin sister sharing authentic mental health journey sparkles from anxiety to abundance flexed biceps DM for coaching inquiries. Coaching inquiries. I scrolled through months of posts, each one a carefully curated piece of my therapy breakthroughs, repackaged as inspirational content. The breathing technique Dr. Martinez taught me for panic attacks? Emma turned it into a viral reel called Stop Anxiety in 60 Seconds with 2.3 million views. The journaling exercises we developed for my depression? Now they're part of her $97 mindset makeover course that's apparently sold 847 copies. 847 people paid Emma $97 each for the therapy techniques that were supposed to save my life. I did the math at 3:17 a.m., sitting on my bathroom floor with my laptop balanced on my knees. Emma has made $82,159 selling my mental health journey to strangers on the internet. The comments under her posts are what broke me completely. Hundreds of people thanking her for saving their lives, for showing them that recovery is possible, for being so brave in sharing her struggle. One woman wrote a paragraph about how Emma's vulnerability about twin comparison trauma helped her work through her own sibling issues. Twin comparison trauma. Emma actually posted about how hard it was being compared to her struggling sister and how therapy helped her set boundaries with family members who expected her to be my caretaker. She turned my existence into her trauma. Then she monetized that too. But here's the thing that's keeping me awake, Emma's version of my recovery story is actually inspiring. Her fake journey from anxiety to confidence has genuinely helped people. The reviews for her course are glowing. Women are posting before and after photos, crediting Emma's authentic approach with transforming their lives. She took my pain, my slow and messy and ongoing healing process, and turned it into a polished success story that's apparently changing lives and funding her new BMW. Meanwhile, I can't get out of bed most mornings without having a panic attack. My phone buzzes with a text from Mom, saw Emma's latest post about gratitude practices. So proud of how far you both come. Dinner Sunday? Even our mother can't tell us apart anymore. I screenshot mom's text and stare at it until the words blur together. How far you both come, the casual way she lumps us together, like we're both success stories now, makes something acidic rise in my throat. Because here's what mom doesn't know. Last Sunday at family dinner, when she spent 20 minutes gushing about Emma's incredible transformation and asking me why I couldn't be more like my sister lately, Emma just sat there, smiling, accepting praise for the breakthrough I'm supposed to be having in therapy. Sarah's been so moody lately, mom had said, passing Emma the good dinner rolls while I got the burnt ones. Maybe you could share some of those mindfulness tips with her, Em. You're glowing these days. Emma actually reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Of course, mom. Sarah and I tell each other everything. Don't we, sis? I'd nodded like an idiot. Because what was I supposed to say? Actually, Emma's been impersonating me to steal my therapy sessions and turn my mental breakdown into a personal brand. My phone rings, snapping me back to the present. Dr. Chen's name flashes on the screen, and I remember I'm supposed to call her back about rescheduling tomorrow's appointment. Sarah? I got your voicemail. Is everything alright? Dr. Chen's voice is warm, concerned. Nothing like Dr. Martinez's increasingly distant tone during our last few sessions before I finally switched therapists. Before I figured out why she kept congratulating me on progress I wasn't making. I found more evidence, I say without preamble. About my sister. It's worse than I thought. Do you want to talk about it over the phone, or would you prefer to wait until we meet? This is why I like Dr. Chen. She doesn't dismiss me or suggest I might be confused like Dr. Martinez started doing. She listens. She's been selling my therapy, I blurt out. Not just attending my sessions. She created this whole online business around my recovery story. She's made over $80,000. Silence on the other end. Then, Sarah, that's a serious accusation. If what you're saying is true, this goes beyond therapeutic fraud. This is identity theft, possibly wire fraud. Wire fraud. I hadn't thought of that term, but hearing it makes everything feel more real. More criminal. I have screenshots, I continue. Her Instagram, her course sales, everything. She's got testimonials from people thanking her for sharing her anxiety journey. But it's my anxiety. My panic attacks that she repackaged into viral content. Have you considered that this might be grounds for legal action? The question hangs in the air. Legal action against Emma. Against my twin sister. The thought terrifies me almost as much as it thrills me. My parents would never forgive me, I whisper. Sarah, your parents aren't the ones who've had their identity stolen and their medical privacy violated. You are. She's right, but she doesn't understand my family dynamics. Emma has always been the golden child. Valedictorian to my salutatorian. Harvard Law to my state school communications degree. Partner track at 28 while I'm temping at insurance companies. And now, somehow, she's even better at recovering from mental illness than I am. There's something else, I say. I think she's been doing this longer than 3 years. I found an old email in my spam folder from 2019. Someone thanking me for a life-changing conversation about overcoming perfectionism at a coffee shop downtown. I've never had that conversation with anyone. What are you thinking? I'm thinking Emma's been practicing being me for years. The therapy sessions were just her getting professional. The line goes quiet except for the sound of Dr. Chen typing notes. Sarah, I want you to document everything. Screenshots, recordings, any evidence you can find. And I want to see you tomorrow, regardless of your original concerns about rescheduling. Okay. And Sarah? What your sister has done to you, this isn't your fault. None of it. After we hang up, I sit in my kitchen staring at my laptop screen, Emma's smiling face beaming back at me from her latest Instagram post. The caption reads, asterisk reminder that healing isn't linear, beauties. Even on my worst days now, I remember how far I've come. Swipe for today's affirmation practice. 2 hearts asterisk. The post has 14,000 likes and 312 comments. My healing wasn't linear. Hers apparently is exponential. I'm scrolling through Emma's Instagram at 6 a.m. when I find the video that makes me drop my coffee mug. It's from 2 weeks ago. Emma's sitting in what looks like Dr. Martinez's office. I recognize the stupid motivational poster about growth behind her left shoulder. She's doing a Facebook Live session titled Therapy Tuesday, Real Talk from the Couch. Hey beautiful souls, Emma says to the camera, and even though she's whispering, her voice carries that confident energy that's never come naturally to me. I'm literally in my therapist's waiting room right now, and I just had to share this breakthrough with you. The viewer count in the corner shows 1,247 people watching live. 1,200 people watching my sister monetize my actual therapy appointment in real time. Dr. M just helped me realize something huge about family trauma, she continues, and I can see the familiar blue chairs of Dr. Martinez's waiting room in the background. Sometimes the people we love most are the ones who keep us stuck in old patterns. But we can choose growth over guilt, beauties. The comments are flooding in faster than I can read them. Asterisk, you're so brave, Emma. This is exactly what I needed to hear. Can you share Dr. M's contact info? Asterisk. Share Dr. M's contact info. My therapist's contact information, being shared with over 1,000 strangers because Emma's been advertising her services during my sessions. I screenshot everything, my hands shaking so badly I have to retake half of them. Then I see the comment that makes my blood freeze. Asterisk Emma glows up, my daughter Sarah is struggling with anxiety too. She's the same age as you and could really use someone to look up to. Would love to connect you too. Asterisk. The profile photo shows a middle-aged woman with kind eyes. Her username is at momofsarahj2024. Emma hearted the comment. I click on the woman's profile. Her bio says asterisk proud mom of Sarah, 28, watching her battle anxiety. Inspired by Emma Glossup's journey. Asterisk. Her posts are mostly pictures of a golden retriever and inspirational quotes, but scattered throughout are photos of a young woman who looks tired. Really tired. The kind of tired I recognize from my own mirror. Sarah J. is real. She's real, and she's struggling, and her mother found Emma's account because she was looking for help for her daughter who shares my name and my anxiety. I keep scrolling through at Mom of Sarah J 2024's account until I find a post from 3 weeks ago that makes me physically nauseous. Asterisk Sarah had another panic attack at work today. Third one this month. I don't know how to help her anymore, but following at Emma Glows Up gives me hope that recovery is possible. Maybe if Sarah sees someone else who's overcome anxiety, she'll believe she can too. Asterisk. The post has 7 likes and 1 comment from Emma. Asterisk sending love to you and Sarah. Recovery is possible. I'm proof. 2 hearts asterisk. I'm proof. Emma is claiming to be proof of recovery from anxiety she never had, to the desperate mother of a girl who's actually living through what I'm living through. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Asterisk hi. This is Sarah J. My mom found your Instagram and thought we should connect since we're both dealing with anxiety. Would love to chat about your journey. Asterisk. I stare at the message for a full minute before it hits me. This girl found my number somehow and thinks she's texting Emma. She's reaching out to my sister, using my name, asking for help with the anxiety that Emma has never experienced but has been pretending to overcome using my therapy sessions. Before I can figure out how to respond, another message comes through. Asterisk sorry if this is weird. I'm just really inspired by your story. I've been having panic attacks and my therapist isn't really helping. Saw your Instagram and felt hope for the first time in months. Asterisk. I screenshot both messages and immediately call Dr. Chen, not caring that it's 6:17 a.m. Sarah? What's wrong? There are other people, I say without preamble. My sister's Instagram, there are people reaching out who actually have anxiety. Real people who think she's me, who think she's recovered from what they're going through. Slow down. What do you mean other people? I explain about Sarah J., about her mother's desperate posts, about the girl who somehow got my number and is asking Emma for help through me. Dr. Chen, what if she gives them advice? What if she tells them to do something dangerous because she doesn't actually understand anxiety? What if someone gets hurt because they think she's qualified to help them? Sarah, breathe. You're spiraling. She's right. I can feel the familiar tightness in my chest, the way my thoughts are racing faster than I can process them. But what if? What if you focus on what you can control right now? You've found evidence. You're documenting everything. We're going to figure this out together. She's not just stealing from me anymore, I whisper. She's stealing from everyone who thinks she's helping them. After I hang up, I sit on my kitchen floor and realize Emma hasn't just taken my therapy. She's taken my responsibility too, the responsibility to actually help people who are struggling, instead of just performing recovery for profit. The girl named Sarah is still waiting for my response. I stare at Sarah J.'s messages for 20 minutes before I do something that might be stupid or brilliant. I decide to text her back. Not as Emma. As me. Asterisk hi Sarah. I think there's been a misunderstanding. I'm not the person from Instagram. My name is Sarah too, and I think my sister has been using my therapy story for her social media. Are you okay? Do you have support for your panic attacks? Asterisk. The response comes back in 30 seconds. Asterisk wait, what? Your sister? I'm so confused. The Instagram account says it's Emma's personal journey. Asterisk. Asterisk it's complicated. But I want you to know that panic attacks are treatable. Please don't give up on therapy. Sometimes it takes finding the right therapist. Asterisk. Asterisk this is so weird. But thank you. My therapist keeps telling me to just think positive thoughts and it makes me want to scream. Asterisk. I find myself smiling for the first time in days. Asterisk fire that therapist. Panic attacks aren't cured by positive thinking. You need someone who understands anxiety disorders. Asterisk. We text for an hour. Sarah J. tells me about her job at a veterinary clinic, how the panic attack started after her dad died last year, how her mom means well but keeps sending her Emma's Instagram posts like they're medical prescriptions. She's funny and smart and nothing like the broken girl I'd imagined from her mother's worried posts. She's also been in contact with 12 other people who found Emma's account while searching for anxiety help. There's this whole group chat, Sarah J. explains. Asterisk people who follow Emma and share tips. Want me to add you? Some of them have actually paid for her course. Asterisk. My stomach drops. Asterisk yes. Add me. Asterisk. 5 minutes later, I'm in a group chat called Emma's Anxiety Warriors with 13 other people. The messages are flying. Jessica_M, anyone else notice Emma's been posting less lately? Anxiety free 2024, asterisk she's probably working on new course content. Can't wait, asterisk. Mindful mama, I've been using her breathing technique for 3 weeks and finally had a panic attack free day yesterday. Sarah_J, hey everyone, I just found out something weird about Emma. I watched Sarah J. explain our conversation to the group. The responses range from confusion to anger to complete denial. Anxiety free 2024, asterisk that doesn't make sense. Emma would never lie about something like this, asterisk. Tyler ANX, asterisk wait, I thought something was off about her recent posts. They seemed different, asterisk. Mindful mama, asterisk I don't care if she has a sister helping her. The techniques work. I paid $97 and it was worth it, asterisk. Jessica_M, asterisk I've been following Emma for 8 months. This is insane. You're saying she stole her sister's therapy, asterisk. Then a message pops up that makes my blood run cold. Anxiety free 2024, asterisk I'm actually meeting Emma for coffee next week. She reached out to me personally after I shared my story about workplace anxiety. I can ask her about this, asterisk. I typed frantically, asterisk when? Where? Asterisk. Anxiety free 2024, asterisk Thursday at 2 p.m. Cafe Luna downtown. She said she wants to do an interview for her podcast about success stories, asterisk. Thursday at 2 p.m. That's tomorrow. The same time I'm supposed to have my rescheduled appointment with Dr. Chen. Emma is meeting with her followers in person now. She's not just stealing my therapy sessions and monetizing my recovery, she's actively counseling people who think she's qualified to help them. I screenshot the entire conversation and immediately call Emma's number. It goes straight to voicemail, but her outgoing message stops me cold. Asterisk hi, you've reached Emma. I'm probably in a session with a client or working on new content to help you live your best life. Leave a message and remember, anxiety doesn't define you. Asterisk. A session with a client. Emma thinks she's a therapist now. I hang up and call Dr. Chen again. Sarah, twice in one morning. What's happening? She's meeting with people. In person. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. she's meeting with someone from her group chat who thinks Emma is qualified to give anxiety advice. That's practicing therapy without a license. It gets worse. Her voicemail says she's in sessions with clients. Dr. Chen, what if she's charging people for fake therapy sessions? The silence on the other end stretches too long. Sarah, I need you to listen carefully. If your sister is providing therapeutic services without proper licensing, that's a felony. If someone gets hurt because of advice she gives them. She doesn't finish the sentence, but I understand. Emma isn't just stealing my identity anymore. She's potentially endangering vulnerable people who trust her because they think she's me, the me I was supposed to become after years of real therapy. I have to stop her, I say. No, Sarah. You have to report her. But as I hang up, I'm already planning to be at Café Luna tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'm sitting in my car outside Café Luna at 1:45 p.m., watching through the window as Emma arranges herself at a corner table. She's wearing my favorite blue cardigan, the one I thought I'd lost months ago, and she set up what looks like a professional consultation space. Notebook, tablet, even a small recording device. She's really doing this. She's really pretending to be a therapist. At 1:58 p.m., a young woman with short blonde hair walks in, scanning the cafe nervously. I recognize her immediately from her profile picture, Anxiety Free 2024, whose real name is apparently Melissa. She's clutching her purse strap so tightly her knuckles are white, and I can see her doing the breathing exercises Emma stole from my sessions. Emma stands up with a huge smile and opens her arms for a hug. Melissa. I'm so glad we could finally meet in person. You look amazing. I can already see the confidence we've been working on. We've been working on like they have an established therapeutic relationship. Like Emma has any idea what she's doing. I should call the police. I should call Dr. Chen. I should drive away and let the professionals handle this. Instead, I get out of my car and walk into the cafe. Sarah. Emma's voice is bright, surprised, but I catch the flash of panic in her eyes. What a coincidence. Melissa, this is my twin sister Sarah. The one I was telling you about. Melissa's face lights up. Oh my god, you're the sister. Emma talks about you all the time. She's so proud of how you're working on your anxiety too. I stare at Emma. She talks about me? All the time, Melissa continues, oblivious to the tension crackling between us. She says watching your journey inspired her to help others. It's so sweet how supportive you two are of each other. Emma's smile is frozen in place. Sarah was just leaving, weren't you, sis? Don't you have that job interview this afternoon? Job interview. I haven't had a job interview in 3 months. Actually, I'd love to join you, I say, pulling out the third chair at their table. I'm curious about Emma's work. Melissa beams. This is perfect. Emma, you could do a session with both sisters. Imagine the content, twins healing together. The word session makes my skin crawl, but Emma's already nodding. Of course. Sarah, Melissa has been making incredible progress with her workplace anxiety. I was just about to walk her through the breakthrough technique we developed. We developed the technique Dr. Martinez and I spent 6 weeks perfecting after my panic attack during a department meeting last year. That sounds familiar, I say carefully. Melissa, what exactly has Emma been helping you with? Oh, everything. Melissa opens her own notebook, filled with what looks like session notes. We've been working together for 2 months now. Phone sessions twice a week, plus the group coaching calls. Emma's miracle technique literally saved my job. Phone sessions. Twice a week. I look at Emma, whose face has gone pale under her makeup. How much do you charge for these phone sessions? I ask. Emma laughs nervously. Sarah, we don't need to talk about business. Totally worth every penny, Melissa interrupts. $200 per session is expensive, but Emma's results speak for themselves. I haven't had a panic attack at work in 3 weeks. $200 per session. Twice a week for 2 months. Emma has made at least $3,200 from Melissa alone. Melissa, I say slowly, can I ask what credentials Emma shared with you? Like, her licensing information? Credentials? Melissa looks confused, then turns to Emma. You're a licensed therapist, right? I mean, you obviously know what you're talking about. Emma's mouth opens and closes without sound. Because, I continue, reaching for my phone, I have a recording I think you should hear. Sarah, don't. Emma's voice is sharp now, all pretense of sisterly warmth gone. This isn't the place. I think it's exactly the place. I hit play on the audio file from Dr. Martinez's office. Emma's voice fills the cafe space, asterisk those breathing techniques she taught me have been life-changing. I used them during my promotion interview at Henderson and Associates, asterisk. Melissa's face changes as recognition dawns. That's your voice, Emma. But you're talking like you're someone else. I can explain. She's been attending my therapy sessions, I say quietly. For 3 years. Pretending to be me. Everything she's taught you, she learned by impersonating me to a real therapist. The notebook falls from Melissa's hands. The silence stretches between us until Melissa's voice cuts through it, small and shaking. You're not a therapist. Emma's hands flutter to her notebook, closing it quickly. Melissa, please let me explain. I know this looks bad, but you charged me $1,600. Melissa's voice is getting louder, and other cafe patrons are starting to glance our way. I told you about my panic attacks, about my trauma from my dad's death, and you're not even qualified to, she stops, pressing her hand to her chest. Oh god, I can't breathe. I recognize the signs immediately. Melissa's having a panic attack, triggered by the realization that the person she's been trusting with her mental health has been lying to her for months. Emma just sits there, frozen, because despite stealing my therapy techniques, she has no idea how to actually help someone in crisis. Melissa, look at me. I move my chair closer to hers. We're going to breathe together, okay? 4 counts in, hold for 4, out for 6. Can you do that with me? As I guide Melissa through the breathing exercise, the real one, the one Dr. Martinez actually taught me, not whatever bastardized version Emma's been selling, I watch my sister's face cycle through panic, guilt, and calculation. Even now, she's trying to figure out how to spin this. That was beautiful, Emma says once Melissa's breathing stabilizes. Sarah, you'd be amazing at peer counseling. Maybe we could work together. Stop. Melissa's voice is hoarse but firm. Just stop talking. She turns to me. The breathing thing she taught me was wrong, wasn't it? She had me holding my breath for 8 counts, and it always made me feel worse. My stomach drops. 8 counts can trigger hyperventilation for some people. That's dangerous for panic attacks. I've been getting worse, Melissa whispers. I thought it was normal, part of the process. Emma kept saying healing isn't linear, so when her techniques made me feel panicky, I figured I was doing something wrong. Emma's face has gone completely white. Melissa, I never meant to. How many people are you treating? I ask, though I'm not sure I want to know the answer. Emma's silence is answer enough. Emma. My voice is deadly calm. How many people have you been charging for fake therapy? It's not fake, she says desperately. The techniques work. People are getting better. Look at Melissa, she said herself she hasn't had a panic attack at work in weeks. Because I've been avoiding work situations entirely, Melissa snaps. I thought that was progress. You told me avoidance was a valid coping strategy while I built confidence. I close my eyes. Avoidance is the opposite of progress for anxiety disorders. Emma's been actively making her clients worse by reinforcing their fears instead of helping them work through them. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Emma canceled our session today. When can we reschedule? The technique you taught me for driving anxiety isn't working and I've been having episodes on the highway. Episodes on the highway. My hands start shaking as I show the message to Melissa. There are others, she says. It's not a question. 17, Emma whispers. 17 regular clients. 17 people. At $200 per session. If they're all meeting twice weekly like Melissa. Emma, that's almost $14,000 a week. My voice sounds far away, like it's coming from underwater. You're making more money than actual therapists. And potentially killing people, Melissa adds, staring at the text about highway episodes. Emma, what if someone crashes their car following your fake advice? For the first time since I sat down, Emma looks genuinely scared. My phone starts buzzing with notifications. One after another. Text messages, Instagram DMs, missed calls. I glance down and see they're all from people whose usernames I recognize from the group chat. Melissa posted about what happened, Emma says, staring at her own phone. In the group chat. I open the messages. The anxiety warriors are in full meltdown mode. Wait, so Emma isn't a therapist? I've been doing her breathing exercises wrong for months. Tyler here, I used her highway driving technique yesterday and had to pull over. Thought I was having a heart attack. This explains why I kept getting worse instead of better. My mom paid $600 for her course. She's going to kill me. Then a message comes through that makes my blood freeze. Guys, my roommate Chelsea found me unconscious in our dorm yesterday. I've been practicing Emma's breath suspension technique for panic attacks and I guess I hyperventilated so bad I passed out. I'm in the campus health center right now. Melissa grabs my phone to read the message. Breath suspension? What the hell is that? Emma's face is gray. I thought, the breathing technique Sarah learned, but I made it more intensive. Longer holds, deeper breaths. I thought if a little was good, more would be better. You modified a medical technique, I say slowly, without understanding how it works or what the contraindications are. More messages flood in. Screenshots of Emma's course materials, people comparing notes on techniques that made them worse, someone asking if they should go to the emergency room because they've been having chest pains since starting Emma's accelerated anxiety breakthrough program. Emma, Melissa's voice is deadly quiet, show me your client files. My what? Your notes. Your intake forms. Your safety protocols. You are keeping records of people's mental health information, right? You're following HIPAA guidelines? Emma's silence is deafening. You have been taking detailed notes about people's trauma histories, their panic attack triggers, their medical information, and you've been storing it where? On your laptop? On your phone? In your fucking Instagram DMs? I watch Emma's face crumble as the legal implications hit her. She's not just practicing therapy without a license. She's been mishandling protected health information for 17 people. Some of it's in my notes app, she whispers. Melissa stands up so fast her chair falls backward. Your notes app? Emma, I told you about my sexual assault history. My eating disorder. My medication allergies. And you've been keeping that information in your fucking notes app? The entire cafe is staring now. The barista has paused mid-latte to watch our table. Melissa, please sit down, I say gently. Let's figure out how to fix this. Fix this? She laughs, but it's not a happy sound. Sarah, your sister has been running an unlicensed therapy practice out of stolen session notes. She's got detailed psychiatric information about 17 people stored on her personal devices. She's been giving dangerous medical advice that's actively harming people. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a call from a number I don't recognize. I answer it without thinking. Is this Emma? The voice is male, panicked. This is Jake from the group chat. My girlfriend Priya has been following your techniques and something's wrong. She won't stop doing the breathing exercises. She's been hyperventilating for 30 minutes straight and she won't let me call 911 because she says you told her to push through the discomfort. This is Sarah, Emma's sister. Call 911 right now. But Emma said. I don't care what Emma said. Your girlfriend needs medical attention. Call 911. I hang up and look at Emma, who's staring at her phone in horror. Her Instagram notifications are exploding. Angry comments, people demanding refunds, someone threatening to contact the state licensing board. 17 people, Emma, I say. 17 people whose lives you put at risk because you wanted to steal my identity and make money off my mental illness. I was helping them, she whispers. No, Melissa says, gathering her things. You were playing therapist with real people's lives. And now we all have to live with the consequences. After Melissa storms out of the cafe, Emma and I sit in suffocating silence while her phone continues buzzing with increasingly frantic messages. The barista keeps glancing over nervously, probably wondering if she should call someone about the twin sisters who just orchestrated a mental health crisis in her establishment. Sarah, I can fix this, Emma finally says, her voice barely above a whisper. I'll refund everyone's money. I'll shut down the Instagram. You'll what, Emma? Unlearn their trauma histories that you've been storing in your notes app? Ungive the dangerous advice that puts someone in the hospital? My phone rings again. This time the caller ID shows Dr. Chen's office. Sarah? I got your voicemail about confronting Emma at the cafe. Please tell me you're not still there. I'm here. With Emma. Dr. Chen, it's worse than we thought. She's been charging people $200 for twice-weekly phone sessions. 4 months. There are 17 active clients, and one of them is in the emergency room right now because of her modified breathing techniques. The sharp intake of breath on the other end tells me everything. Sarah, you need to leave immediately. Don't say anything else to Emma about evidence or legal action. Just leave. Why? Because anything you say to her now could be used to argue that you're interfering with her business or harassing her clients. We need to report this through proper channels. I look across the table at Emma, who's frantically typing responses to the flood of angry messages. Her fingers are shaking so badly she keeps making typos and having to start over. Emma, I have to go. Wait. She grabs my wrist, and for a split second she looks exactly like we did as kids when one of us was in trouble and needed the other's protection. Sarah, please. If this gets out, I'll lose everything. My job, my apartment, Your job? I pull my hand away. Emma, you are going to lose your job. You've been committing felonies. Multiple felonies. Henderson and Associates isn't going to keep a lawyer who's been practicing therapy without a license and stealing client data. Her face crumples. You don't understand. The partners were already looking for reasons to cut Associates. If they find out about this, I'll never work in law again. I'll be disbarred. For a moment, I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. Then my phone buzzes with another update from the group chat. Asterisk update on Priya, she's stable but they're keeping her overnight for observation. Jake says she kept repeating Emma's mantras even while the paramedics were trying to help her. Asterisk. Someone could have died, Emma. But they didn't. This time. I stand up, slinging my purse over my shoulder. What about next time? What happens when your accelerated anxiety breakthrough techniques kill someone? Emma's typing frantically again, and I catch a glimpse of her screen. She's posting to Instagram, *Hey beautiful souls, taking a brief social media break to focus on new course development. All individual sessions are temporarily paused. Love you all. 2 hearts *. You're not even apologizing to them, I say, disgusted. You're making it sound like a marketing strategy. I have to protect myself, Sarah. You of all people should understand. No. The word comes out sharper than I intended. I understand protecting yourself from anxiety and depression and panic attacks. I don't understand protecting yourself from the consequences of committing crimes. I'm halfway to the door when Emma's voice stops me cold. Sarah, wait. There's something else you need to know. I turn around slowly. Dr. Martinez. She knows. My stomach drops. What do you mean she knows? Last month. During one of our sessions. She got a phone call about a scheduling conflict, and she mentioned that Sarah Chen had called to request her files for a transfer. Emma's voice is getting smaller. She realized there were 2 Sarahs. She figured it out. Dr. Martinez knows you've been impersonating me for 3 years, and she didn't report it? She said she needed to think about the ethical implications. About client confidentiality and legal liability. Legal liability. Dr. Martinez has been sitting on this information for a month, probably consulting with lawyers about whether she could be held responsible for not catching the impersonation sooner. Emma, how many people know about this? Just Dr. Martinez. And now Melissa and her group chat. She pauses. And Dr. Chen, obviously. I count quickly in my head. 1 therapist who's been covering it up, 17 fake therapy clients who are now comparing notes online, 1 very angry group chat that's probably screenshotting everything, and my new therapist who wants me to report Emma to the authorities. This isn't a family crisis anymore. This is a public health emergency with my sister's face on it and my name attached to it. Sarah, please, Emma says as I reach the cafe door. We're twins. We're supposed to protect each other. I look back at her one more time, still beautiful, still confident, still sitting in my stolen cardigan at a table where she was charging someone $200 for therapy techniques she learned by pretending to be me. You're right, Emma. We are supposed to protect each other. But you've been protecting yourself by destroying me for 3 years. So now I'm going to protect the 17 people whose lives you've been playing with. Sarah. And I'm going to protect every person who might become your 18th victim. The drive to Dr. Chen's office passes in a blur of rage and adrenaline, but it's the text I get at a red light that makes me pull over completely. It's from Mom, * Emma called me crying about some misunderstanding with her coaching business. She says you're trying to sabotage her success because you're jealous. Sarah, I'm disappointed. Your sister has worked so hard to build something meaningful. Asterisk. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely type back. Mom, Emma has been impersonating me to steal my therapy sessions for 3 years. She's not a coach. She's been practicing therapy without a license. Asterisk. The response comes immediately. That's ridiculous. Emma would never do something like that. You've been struggling lately, honey. Maybe you're confused. Asterisk. Confused. The same word Dr. Martinez used when I tried to tell her I wasn't making the progress she kept congratulating me on. My phone rings before I can respond. Dad's number. Sarah, your mother told me about this accusation you're making against Emma. This is serious. You're right, Dad. It is serious. Emma has been charging people money for fake therapy using techniques she learned by impersonating me. Someone went to the hospital today because of her advice. Sarah. His voice has that careful tone he uses when he thinks I'm having an episode. I know you've been having a hard time lately, but accusing your sister of identity theft. I have recordings, Dad. Screenshots. Bank records of her course sales. 17 people who paid her for therapy sessions thinking she was qualified. Silence. Then, even if that's true, she was probably just trying to help people. Emma's always been good at helping others work through their problems. Emma's always been good at helping others, not me. Never me. Even when she's literally stealing my identity, somehow Emma is still the helpful one and I'm the problem. Dad, she stole $82,000 selling my mental health journey to strangers. She's been storing people's trauma histories in her iPhone notes. Someone could have died today. Sarah, you're not thinking clearly. Maybe you should talk to someone. I am talking to someone. My actual therapist. Who believes me because I have evidence. I hang up and immediately call my brother Marcus in Portland. Marcus has always been the neutral party, the one who stayed out of the Emma versus Sarah dynamics that have ruled our family since birth. Hey sis, what's? Marcus, I need you to listen to me and not interrupt. Emma has been pretending to be me in therapy sessions for 3 years and using what she learned to run an illegal therapy practice where she charges people $200 a session for techniques she stole from my actual mental health treatment. Silence for a beat. Then, Jesus Christ, Sarah. Are you serious? The relief of being believed nearly makes me cry. Completely serious. Mom and Dad think I'm making it up because I'm jealous of her success. Of course they do. Emma's been their golden child since we were born. Marcus's voice is grim. What kind of evidence do you have? I explain everything, the recordings, the Instagram account, the fake course, the group chat of people she's been treating, Melissa's panic attack, the girl in the hospital. Sarah, this is federal crime territory. Wire fraud, practicing medicine without a license, HIPAA violations. She could go to prison. I know. And you know Mom and Dad will never forgive you if you report her. My throat tightens. I know that too. But you're going to do it anyway. Marcus, there are 17 people whose mental health she's been destroying while they paid her for the privilege. One of them almost died today. What if it was your daughter? What if Lily was struggling with anxiety and some fraud convinced her to do breathing exercises that put her in the hospital? I'd want that person in jail. Exactly. Marcus is quiet for a long moment. Sarah, I believe you. And I think you're doing the right thing. But you need to prepare yourself for the possibility that this destroys our family. Emma already destroyed our family. I'm just making it visible. After we hang up, I sit in my parked car for 20 minutes, watching normal people go about their normal Tuesday afternoons, and I realize something that makes my chest feel hollow. I'm about to become the daughter who got her twin sister arrested. The daughter who chose strangers over family loyalty. The daughter who finally fought back. Dr. Chen's office feels like a sanctuary after the chaos of the cafe, but even here I can't escape the buzzing of my phone. Emma's 17 victims are comparing notes in real time, and each new message makes my stomach twist tighter. Asterisk just got off the phone with my actual therapist. She says Emma's trauma integration technique could have triggered a psychotic break. I've been doing it for 6 weeks. Asterisk. Asterisk my psychiatrist wants to see all the materials Emma gave me. Says some of her advice directly contradicts my medication protocol. Asterisk. Asterisk wait, was anyone else told to reduce their antidepressant dosage because true healing comes from within? Asterisk. That last message makes Dr. Chen's pen stop moving across her notepad. Sarah, did you say Emma was giving medical advice about psychiatric medications? I screenshot the conversation and show her. Apparently she's been telling people they can heal anxiety without numbing themselves with pills. Dr. Chen's face darkens. That's not just practicing therapy without a license. That's practicing medicine without a license. If someone stopped taking prescribed psychiatric medication because of her advice. Dr. Chen, there's something else. My voice cracks. My parents don't believe me. They think I'm making this up because I'm jealous of Emma's success. My mom actually texted me that I'm being disappointing. Your parents' reaction doesn't change the facts, Sarah. It just tells us something about your family dynamics. The understatement of the century. My phone buzzes again, a call from Emma this time. I decline it, but immediately get a text, asterisk Sarah please call me back. I've been Googling the legal stuff. I could get 20 years in prison. 20 years. You're my sister. You can't do this to me. Asterisk. She's panicking, I tell Dr. Chen. She figured out how serious this is. Good. She should be panicking. Sarah, I've been making some calls while you were at the cafe. I spoke with a colleague at the state licensing board, and with what you've described, we're looking at multiple felony charges. The FBI might get involved because she's been conducting wire fraud across state lines. FBI. The word sits heavy in my chest. Some of her clients are from other states? According to her Instagram, yes. She's been advertising nationally. Dr. Chen sets down her pen and looks at me directly. Sarah, I need you to understand what you're about to set in motion. This isn't just reporting unethical behavior. This is triggering a federal investigation that will destroy your sister's life. Another text from Emma, asterisk I'll give everyone their money back. I'll shut everything down. I'll never do it again. Please don't destroy me. Asterisk. Then one more, asterisk I only did it because I wanted to be like you. You were getting better and I was still broken inside and I thought if I could just be you for a while, I could figure out how to fix myself too. Asterisk. I stare at that message until the words blur together. Emma was broken. Emma, who's been the successful one, the competent one, the one our parents beam about at dinner parties. Emma has been stealing my therapy because she was falling apart and didn't know how to ask for help. Dr. Chen, what if she really was just trying to get better? What if this whole thing started because she was struggling and didn't know how else to cope? Sarah, look at me. Dr. Chen's voice is firm. Emma's motivation doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that she took vulnerable people's money and gave them dangerous advice that put someone in the hospital today. Her reasons for starting this don't excuse the harm she's caused. My phone rings again. This time it's a number I don't recognize, but when I answer, the voice is familiar. Sarah? This is Priya. From the group chat. I'm the one who ended up in the ER. Priya, how are you feeling? Are you okay? I'm okay now, but I wanted to tell you something. About Emma's breathing technique. I wasn't just hyperventilating. I was having seizures. The doctor said prolonged hyperventilation can cause seizures in some people, and Emma never asked about my medical history. Never asked if I had any conditions that might make her techniques dangerous. My blood turns to ice. Seizures? 3 of them. Jake thought I was dying. And Sarah, the scariest part wasn't the seizures. It was that even while I was convulsing, I kept thinking I had to push through because Emma taught us that panic and discomfort were just resistance to healing. I closed my eyes. Priya, I'm so sorry. Don't apologize for your sister. Just, please make sure she can't do this to anyone else. After Priya hangs up, I look at Dr. Chen and realize my decision was made the moment Emma decided that 17 people's lives were worth less than her need to feel successful. I need to know how to report her. There's something else, I tell Dr. Chen, pulling up Emma's banking app on my phone. I still have access to our shared account from when we were roommates in college. She never removed me. The numbers on the screen make my stomach lurch. In the past 6 months alone, there are deposits totaling $127,000. Not just from individual sessions, but from something called Breakthrough Intensive Weekends, $2,500 per person, with what looks like 12 participants per session. Dr. Chen, she's been running weekend retreats. Look at this Anxiety Liberation Intensive, transform your life in 48 hours. She's been bringing groups of people together. Dr. Chen's face goes pale. Group therapy without supervision, without proper training, without emergency protocols. Sarah, if someone had a severe panic attack or dissociative episode in a group setting. My phone buzzes with a new message in the group chat, this one from a username I don't recognize, *K everyone, this is Taylor's mom. Taylor attended Emma's weekend intensive last month and has been having nightmares and panic attacks ever since. She won't tell me what happened there, but she keeps saying she failed at healing and that she's broken beyond fixing. Is this normal? I'm scared. The responses come flooding in. Wait, there were weekend things? Emma never told me about those. I went to one in March. It was intense. We did this thing called fear flooding where we had to face our worst triggers for hours. Fear flooding? That's not a real therapeutic technique. I threw up twice during mine, but Emma said that was just toxins leaving my system. I screenshot everything with shaking hands. Dr. Chen, she's been doing exposure therapy on people. Without any safeguards. Show me. I scroll through more messages from weekend retreat attendees. The picture that emerges is horrifying. Emma has been putting groups of 12 people in hotel conference rooms for entire weekends, making them confront their deepest fears while she filmed it for breakthrough documentation. People with driving phobias forced to drive for hours. People with social anxiety made to give speeches to the group until they cried. Someone with claustrophobia locked in a hotel bathroom until they found peace with enclosed spaces. I have PTSD from a car accident, reads one message. Emma made me drive on the highway for 3 hours straight while she recorded me crying. She said tears were just fear leaving my body. This is torture, Dr. Chen says flatly. She's been torturing trauma survivors and calling it therapy. My phone rings again, Marcus this time. Sarah, I've been doing research. Emma's retreat business is registered as Mindful Transformation LLC in Delaware. She's been running this as an actual corporation, paying taxes on it, the whole thing. This isn't some side hustle that got out of hand. This is a deliberate, organized fraud operation. How long? Business registration dates back 18 months. But Sarah, here's the scary part, I found her application for a trademark on something called the Emma method. She's been planning to franchise this. Franchise. Emma wasn't just stealing my therapy to help a few people. She was building a business empire based on my stolen recovery, planning to teach other people her dangerous techniques so they could hurt even more vulnerable people. Marcus, she could have killed someone at those retreats. She still might. Sarah, I'm looking at her business plan, she's got weekend intensive scheduled through next year. 48 people signed up for next month's session. 48 people who think they're going to get professional help for their mental health struggles. 48 people who are going to pay $2,500 each to be psychologically tortured by someone who learned everything she knows by impersonating me. I hang up and immediately call the number Dr. Chen gives me for the state licensing board's emergency line. This is Sarah Chan, and I need to report someone practicing therapy and medicine without a license. She's running weekend retreat programs for trauma survivors using dangerous exposure techniques. Her next event is scheduled for next month with 48 participants. The woman on the phone takes down Emma's information, her business registration, and the evidence I've gathered. When I mention the seizures and the weekend intensives, her tone shifts to urgent. Ms. Chen, we're going to need you to come in tomorrow morning with all your documentation. And we're going to need to contact the FBI's white-collar crime division. If she's been operating across state lines with this retreat business, it falls under federal jurisdiction. After I hang up, Dr. Chen and I sit in heavy silence. Outside her window, it's getting dark, and I realize I've been in crisis mode for 12 hours straight. Sarah, there's no going back from this point. Once the investigation starts, Emma will know it was you who reported her. She already knows. I hold up my phone, showing Emma's latest text, Sarah, I know you're going to report me. Before you do, remember that I'm still your twin sister. I'm still the person who held your hair when you were sick, who helped you practice job interviews, who drove you to the hospital when you had that panic attack sophomore year. I'm still Emma. Please don't forget that I'm still your sister. But as I read her words, all I can think about is Taylor, who thinks she's broken beyond fixing because of Emma's torture sessions. All I can think about is Priya, seizing on her apartment floor while her boyfriend begged her to let him call 911. All I can think about is the 48 people who think they're getting help next month. Emma stopped being just my sister the moment she decided other people's lives were acceptable collateral damage for her success. The FBI agent's name is Detective Rivera, and she has the kind of steady voice that makes you believe everything might actually be okay. She's sitting across from me in a sterile conference room at 9 a.m. sharp, surrounded by printouts of Emma's Instagram posts, bank statements, and what she keeps calling victim testimonials. Ms. Chen, we've identified 34 individuals across 12 states who have paid your sister for therapeutic services, she says, sliding a thick folder across the table. The total amount we can document so far is $247,000. $250,000. I stare at the number until it stops looking like real money and starts looking like evidence of something monstrous. There's more, Detective Rivera continues. We executed a search warrant on Emma's devices this morning. She's been keeping detailed files on her clients, their trauma histories, their medication schedules, their personal relationships. All stored on unsecured cloud servers. My stomach drops. Unsecured? Anyone with basic hacking skills could access her clients' most private information. We're talking social security numbers, medical records, detailed accounts of sexual trauma. She's created a data breach waiting to happen. The conference room door opens, and Detective Rivera's partner walks in carrying a laptop. We found the smoking gun, he says, setting the computer in front of me. Emma's been planning something called Healing Through Crisis Weekend for next month. Look at this. The screen shows Emma's private planning documents. My blood turns to ice as I read. Asterisk weekend structure, push clients to complete emotional breakdown by Saturday evening. Sunday focused on rebirth experience. Increased crying shows technique is working. Document everything for testimonial videos and future course content. Asterisk. She's been planning to film people having breakdowns, I whisper. Detective Rivera nods grimly. For marketing purposes. And Sarah, look at the participant list. I scroll down and see names I recognize from the group chat, but also new ones. Including one that makes my heart stop, asterisk Jennifer Martinez, referred by Dr. Martinez. Asterisk. Dr. Martinez referred someone to Emma's retreat? We contacted Dr. Martinez this morning. She's been referring patients to Emma for 6 months, believing Emma was a legitimate anxiety coach who had successfully completed her own therapy with Dr. Martinez's help. The room spins slightly. Dr. Martinez has been unknowingly feeding Emma a steady stream of vulnerable patients, all because she believed Emma was me, the success story she thought she'd created. How many people has Dr. Martinez referred? Detective Rivera checks her notes. 14. All struggling with severe anxiety or panic disorders. All told they were getting help from someone who had overcome the same challenges. 14 more victims, sent directly by the therapist who was supposed to be protecting them. My phone buzzes with a call from Mom. I decline it, but immediately get a text, asterisk Sarah Elizabeth Chen, I just had FBI agents at my house asking about Emma. What have you done? Your father and I are driving to the police station right now to straighten this out. Asterisk. My parents are trying to stop the investigation, I tell Detective Rivera. She doesn't look surprised. That's common in family fraud cases. Parents often protect the perpetrator, even when they understand the scope of the crimes. Another text from Mom, asterisk Emma is at our house crying. She says you've destroyed her life over some misunderstanding about coaching versus therapy. She's agreed to stop the business and refund everyone. Why couldn't you handle this as a family? Asterisk. Some misunderstanding. Emma has convinced our parents that a $250,000 fraud operation that put people in the hospital is just a misunderstanding about professional boundaries. Detective Rivera, there's something else. Emma's been using my identity for her business registration, her bank accounts, everything. My credit report shows business loans I never applied for. She makes a note. Identity theft charges will be added to wire fraud and practicing medicine without a license. Sarah, I need to ask you something difficult. Are you prepared to testify against your sister in federal court? Federal court. The words hit me like cold water. What would that mean? It means sitting in front of a jury and explaining how Emma stole your identity, how she misrepresented herself to vulnerable people, how her actions caused physical and psychological harm. It means your family will watch you put your twin sister in prison for potentially 20 years. 20 years. Emma's text from yesterday echoes in my head, asterisk, you can't do this to me. Asterisk. But then I think about the business plan Detective Rivera showed me, Emma's notes about pushing clients to complete emotional breakdown and filming it for marketing. I think about the 48 people signed up for next month's torture session, paying $2,500 each for the privilege of being traumatized by someone who learned everything she knows by stealing my therapy. Yes, I say. I'll testify. Detective Rivera nods and closes the folder. Emma's being arrested this afternoon. Given the scope of the fraud and the potential flight risk, we'll be requesting no bail. My phone rings again, Emma this time. For some reason, I answer. Sarah, please tell me you didn't really call the FBI. Her voice is small, scared, nothing like the confident woman who was charging people $200 an hour yesterday. Emma, there are 34 victims across 12 states. You've made almost $250,000. You put someone in the hospital with seizures. I was trying to help people, she whispers. I really thought I was helping. You were trying to help yourself to their money while playing with their lives. Sarah, I'm your twin sister. I know exactly who you are, Emma. That's why I reported you. The line goes quiet. Then, they're here. I can see the FBI cars outside Mom and Dad's house. Through the conference room window, I watch Detective Rivera's partner get into his car, probably heading to make the arrest that's going to shatter my family forever. Emma, I say quietly, for what it's worth, I hope you get real help. The kind you should have asked for 3 years ago instead of stealing mine. I hang up and turn off my phone, knowing that by tonight, I'll be the daughter who destroyed the golden child. And for the first time in years, I'm completely okay with that. The arrest happens at 3:47 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I know the exact time because I'm staring at my phone when Dr. Chen's office landline rings with a confirmation call. Emma is officially in federal custody, charged with wire fraud, identity theft, and practicing medicine without a license. I should feel vindicated. Instead, I feel hollow. By 6 p.m., my phone has 37 missed calls from family members, friends, and numbers I don't recognize. The voicemails range from confused, Sarah, what's happening with Emma, to furious, Dad, how could you do this to your own sister, to heartbreaking, Emma's college roommate, I can't believe this is real. But it's the voicemail from Marcus that makes me finally break down crying. Sarah, I'm so proud of you. I know this is killing you, but you saved people's lives today. Emma's weekend retreat next month? We found out one of the participants is a 17-year-old girl whose parents thought they were sending her to legitimate trauma therapy. She's been cutting herself for months, and Emma had planned to use exposure flooding techniques on her. You stopped that from happening. A 17-year-old. Emma was going to psychologically torture a suicidal teenager for $2,500 and call it healing. My doorbell rings at 8:30 p.m. Through the peephole, I see Mom and Dad standing on my porch, and Mom's been crying. I almost don't answer, but then Dad calls through the door. Sarah, we need to talk. As a family. I open the door to find my parents looking older than I've ever seen them. Mom's eyes are red and swollen, and Dad's hands are shaking slightly as he removes his hat. We just left the jail, Mom says without preamble. Emma's bail hearing is tomorrow morning. The prosecutor is asking for her to be held without bail because she's a danger to public safety. The way she says it, with air quotes, makes it clear she thinks this is all an overreaction. Mom, she put someone in the hospital with seizures. That was an accident, Sarah. Emma explained everything. The girl had an underlying condition she didn't disclose. I stare at my mother. Emma never asked about underlying conditions because she's not qualified to ask those questions. That's the point. Dad steps forward. Sarah, we've hired a lawyer. A good one. But he says the federal prosecutor's case is very strong because someone close to Emma provided extensive evidence. Someone close to Emma. They can't even say my name. Emma made $250,000 practicing fake therapy on vulnerable people, I say quietly. She was planning to film people having breakdowns for marketing purposes. She had a 17-year-old signed up for her next torture session. It wasn't torture, Mom snaps. Emma was helping people work through their anxiety. She used techniques that worked for her own healing journey. Her own healing journey was stolen from my therapy sessions. The words hang in the air between us. Dad's face goes through a series of expressions, confusion, realization, and finally something that might be understanding. Sarah, he says slowly, are you telling us that Emma was attending your therapy appointments? For 3 years, Dad. She's been impersonating me to Dr. Martinez for 3 years, learning my coping strategies, and then selling them to strangers while I got worse and worse. Mom shakes her head violently. That doesn't make sense. Emma's been so successful, so confident. We've watched her transform over the past few years. You've watched her transform into the person I was supposed to become through actual therapy. For the first time, Dad looks uncertain. Sarah, if that's true, why didn't you tell us? I tried. Remember last Christmas when I said I felt like I was losing my mind? When I told you my therapist kept congratulating me on progress I wasn't making? You told me I was being paranoid. The silence stretches too long. Finally, Mom speaks, her voice barely audible. Sarah, Emma's facing 20 years in federal prison. 20 years. Over some business misunderstanding. It's not a business misunderstanding when people end up in the emergency room, Mom. Dad pulls out his phone and shows me a news article. The headline reads, Local woman charged in multi-state therapy fraud scheme. Emma's Harvard Law graduation photo is prominently displayed. This is going to be in the newspapers, Sarah. Everyone we know will see this. Emma's career is over. Our family reputation is less important than the 34 people Emma victimized. Mom starts crying again. She's your twin sister, Sarah. Your twin. You shared a womb with her. How could you send her to prison? The question I've been dreading. The one that's been eating at me since I made the first phone call to the licensing board. Because I shared a womb with her, Mom. Because I know exactly who Emma really is, and what she's capable of. And I couldn't let her keep destroying people to feed her ego. Dad puts his arm around Mom's shoulders. Sarah, we need to know. Will you testify against her? I look at my parents, the people who raised us both, who celebrated Emma's fake success while watching me spiral into depression, who still can't understand that their golden child is a federal criminal. Yes. I'll testify. Mom's sob echoes through my hallway as they turn to leave. 6 months later, I'm sitting in federal court watching Emma's sentencing hearing, and she looks nothing like the competent woman who used to steal my therapy sessions. Her hair is shorter, her designer clothes replaced with a standard issue orange jumpsuit, and when she glances back at me from the defendant's table, her eyes hold something I've never seen before, genuine remorse. The prosecutor, Ms. Rodriguez, stands to address Judge Williams. Your Honor, the defendant operated a sophisticated fraud scheme that victimized 34 individuals across 12 states, generating $247,000 in illegal revenue. Her actions resulted in hospitalizations, psychological trauma, and a complete violation of trust with vulnerable individuals seeking mental health treatment. Judge Williams reviews the sentencing memo. Ms. Chen, the defendant, I've read the victim impact statements. 17 people submitted letters describing how your fraudulent treatment worsened their conditions. One victim, Priya Patel, suffered seizures that required overnight hospitalization. Another, Tyler Morrison, attempted suicide after your weekend retreat convinced him he was unfixable. My stomach clenches. Tyler's letter was the hardest to read during trial preparation. Emma's lawyer, Mr. Brennan, stands for her defense. Your Honor, my client suffers from untreated anxiety and depression herself. Her actions, while inexcusable, stemmed from her own mental health struggles and desire to help others who shared her pain. By stealing her twin sister's therapy sessions for 3 years, Judge Williams responds dryly. Mr. Brennan, your client didn't just commit fraud. She systematically appropriated someone else's healing journey and monetized it while that person continued to suffer. During the trial, I testified for 2 days. The hardest moment wasn't describing Emma's crimes, it was explaining to the jury how it felt to watch my sister become the person I was supposed to be through therapy, while I got worse and worse. Ms. Patel, Judge Williams addresses Priya, who's sitting in the gallery, would you like to make a statement? Priya stands, her voice steady but quiet. Your Honor, I trusted Emma because I thought she'd survived what I was going through. I thought if she could get better, maybe I could too. But she never had anxiety. She was just a good actress who stole someone else's recovery story. The breathing technique she taught me caused 3 seizures. I could have died because she wanted to make money pretending to be her sister. Judge Williams nods and turns to Emma. Ms. Chen, do you have anything to say before sentencing? Emma stands shakily. When she speaks, her voice cracks. Your Honor, I know saying I'm sorry isn't enough. I know I can't undo the harm I caused. I started attending my sister's therapy sessions because I was desperate and didn't know how to ask for help. But somewhere along the way, it became about money and success and proving I could be better than her at something. She turns toward me, tears streaming down her face. Sarah, I stole 3 years of your healing. I stole your identity, your progress, your right to get better. I made your anxiety worse while I pretended to be the recovered version of you. I don't expect forgiveness, but I want you to know that you saved people by stopping me. Including me. Judge Williams delivers the sentence, 8 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised probation. You'll serve your time at FCI Danbury, where you'll have access to mental health treatment, the kind you should have sought 3 years ago instead of stealing your sister's. As the bailiff leads Emma away in handcuffs, she looks back at me one more time. I don't wave or nod or give her any sign of forgiveness. But I don't look away either. In the courthouse parking lot, Mom and Dad are waiting by their car. We haven't spoken since Emma's arrest 6 months ago. Sarah, Dad says quietly, we owe you an apology. Several apologies, Mom adds, her eyes red but clear. We read every victim statement during the trial. We understand now what Emma was doing. What we failed to see. I nod but don't trust myself to speak yet. Your sister needed help, Dad continues, but what she did was inexcusable. You were right to stop her. It's taken Emma being sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for my parents to finally believe me. But somehow, standing in the afternoon sunlight with the courthouse behind us, it feels like enough. My phone buzzes with a text from Dr. Chen, asterisk, how did it go? Remember, healing isn't linear, even justice seeking. Asterisk. I text back, asterisk, it's over. And for the first time in years, I know exactly who I am. Asterisk. Because I'm Sarah Chen. I'm 28 years old. I have anxiety and depression, and I'm working on both with a therapist who knows the difference between me and my twin sister. I'm not Emma's victim anymore, and I'm not her shadow. I'm just me. And after 3 years of having my identity stolen, that feels like everything.